Hey guys, it's Sally. It is Thursday morning. I have just come back from walking the dog, so I'm a little humid, a little damp. But I wanted to talk to you because when I take the dog for a walk, sometimes things start to bubble in my brain and I feel like I just want to talk about them. And since you guys are my outlet, here goes. First, I want to say that uh, I got on the scale this morning and I can surprisingly, much to my surprise, report that I've lost another pound in the last week without any effort. I mean, I exercise less. As a matter of fact, one day I had a real fat day. I just was really tired on Tuesday and just laid on the sofa all day, and I found myself eating more than I normally eat, and it wasn't like craving to eat, but out of boredom, I think, and tiredness, something old thing kind of kicked in, and nothing like it would have in the past. But for me to even have 11 wheat thins on top of the thing I normally eat, my yogurt, or I think I ate 4 meals instead of three, that kind of stuff. And so I felt really bloated and awful, but I thought, well, maybe this will stop my weight loss. It didn't. So there I am surprised, and here I am at that number that I said I didn't want to get to, which is another big interesting growth factor for me. I'm now down 101 pounds. I am to the dreaded, I never want to be 147 because I was too skinny before when I was 147. Well, I'm 147 this morning. And I have noticed that I actually have no breasts left. They've shrunk down to like next to nothing. Not that I ever had much, but it's okay. That can be taken care of with surgery too one day. But I wanted to just say that I think it's important for you to go on and break through this 147 because I'm not trying. I'm trying to maintain, but obviously my body's going to do what it's going to do. And if I lose a pound a month, or I hope not a pound every week, I'm sure my body will stop, but I have to let my body go where it's going. I'm not abusing my body. I'm trying to do what I can to slow it up, and it is slow, but still, to lose a pound with no effort is kind of a shock to me. Um, um, so from now on, it's totally virgin territory to me. I've never been lower than 147 in my life that I can ever remember. I mean, probably, I don't know what age I was in elementary school. Um, so from now on, it's going to be different. It's going to be very different, and I can't imagine where else it could come off except my saddlebags will empty faster, and I don't think you can lose skin from weight loss. I've still got fat deposits on my backside, not much on my backside, my legs, and my little tummy, your baby tummy, a little one. But anyway, that's it. Big surprise. I lost another pound, 101 pounds down. I should be thrilled, and I'm glad because I think it's important for me to break this psychological thing I have about 147. I don't look that bad. I look fine. I'm fine. My body's just a different shape than it's ever been. It's going to be a different shape. I should just be glad it's fine. I don't look very substantial anymore, but hey, that's okay. Uh, you know, this will bring other rewards that I don't even really understand yet because I haven't been there, and that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to look for those rewards I'm not expecting. Now, having blobbed on about my weight loss, that was not really what I was here to talk about. Oh, and it is my 36th week. Week 36. 8 months and 1 week. Okay, week 36. So, that's it. 248 to 147 so far. There is an awesome article on Melting Mama's website that I saw this morning, and I have to share it. And you guys, for those who wouldn't stop to read it, I've got to share this. This was life enlightening for me because I thought some of these thoughts, but here it is in hard science fact. I printed it off and I wanted to read some of it to you. Of course, it's titled Eating to Live or Living to Eat, and we know that to be successful, you have to learn to, you eat just to live. You don't live just to eat. Okay, we got to switch that off in our desire center. Okay, and they've done some science about this, and this is what it says. Scientists are using sophisticated brain imaging technology To understand how the lure of delicious food can overwhelm a body's built-in mechanism to regulate hunger and fullness, what's called hedonic versus homeostatic eating. That means pleasure eating versus necessity eating. Obese people react much more hedonistically with fleshy desire for food, okay, to sweet, fat-laden food in the pleasure and reward circuits of the brain. Fat people do, obese people, than do healthy weight people. Simply seeing pictures of tempting food can light up the pleasure centers in the brain of obese people. There is something wired in our brains. Something chemically is different. That's not something we're doing, not something we're weak-willed about. It is something that, well, anyway, I'll keep reading. Okay, there's some obesity conferences going on, blah, blah, blah. When obese people see high-calorie foods, a widespread network of brain areas involved in reward, attention, emotion, memory, and motor planning is activated, and all these areas are talking to themselves. They're talking to each other, and it makes it hard to resist that chocolate brownie on the plate or that big piece of dessert or whatever, okay? So that is going on in your brain. It is not going on in the brain of a skinny person. Your brain is doing different things. So stop beating yourself up. Okay, similar brain reactions occurred in these obese subjects when researchers merely said the words chocolate brownie. They would wire everybody up and say chocolate brownie, and the pleasure centers would go blah, 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 blah. Okay, but not when they heard the words cabbage and zucchini. Big surprise. Reactions were far less pronounced in non-fat subjects. So non-fat people didn't have the same reaction level. Okay, the overweight subjects had strong reactions to the food in the amygdala, which is a part of your brain, the emotional center of your brain, wherever that is, okay? They had an emotional, strong reaction. They had a strong reaction in that emotional center of the brain, whether they were hungry or not hungry, if they saw the chocolate brownie or heard about it or whatever. If you are normal weight, your homeostatic mechanisms are functioning and controlling this region of the brain. But in the overweight group, there is some sort of dysfunction in the homeostatic signal, so that even though they weren't hungry, they were vulnerable for the external clues to eat. So there. Studies have found that a diet of sweet, high-fat foods can indeed blunt the body's built-in fullness signals. Most of them emanate from the digestive tract, which releases a chemical messenger, including something I can't say, glucan something, and peptide YY. When the stomach and intestines are full, those signals go up to the brain and say, you're full. Obesity throws off the action of leptin, a hormone secreted by fat tissue that tells the hypothalamus gland how much energy the body has stored. Leptin should act as a brake against overeating, and it does in normal weight people, but most obese people have an overabundance of leptin, and somehow their brains are ignoring the signal. Similarly, are some people obese because their brains overreact to tempting food, or do the brains react that way because something else is driving them to overeat? It is possible that these changes reflect the brain has adapted. Okay, our brains have adapted to this vicious cycle from our eating patterns. I mean, we might have started off with a little dysfunction, but we've made it worse and cyclical by forming those patterns in our brain, the way we eat, the way we crave sweet, fatty foods. Okay, so we have a disordered eating, partly because it started, partly because we've made it worse, okay, unintentionally. Curiously, this is the important part, several studies have shown that forms of gastric bypass surgery can actually create changes in the brains of formerly obese people. Not just because their stomachs are smaller and fill up more quickly. Levels of leptin and glucose tend to drop in bypass patients, ending diabetes for many of them. PET scans also show that bypass patients have more dopamine circulating in their brains, which may help control appetite as well. What do you know, folks? Bypass surgery seems to make food less tempting too. Of course, we knew that because of the dumping and because of the whatever. Get sick if you eat too much. Okay, I just wanted to say that because I have felt like since, before my thing shuts off, I have felt like since I had surgery, something switched off in my brain.